It's week 8 of the One Room Challenge, and it's time for the big reveal.
What are you waiting for? Let's go inside and check out the Workroom Speakeasy. So for those that are just tuning in, we had 8 weeks with the One Room Challenge to make over our basement. We chose our basement because it was probably the messiest place in our home. When we bought the place, we really didn't touch it, and because of that, we just kind of used this as all of our storage space. So there was boxes on the ground, the foundation walls were showing. It was just a pretty big
It was a mess down here. It really was. There were cockroaches all over, like dead on their backs and stuff, and the pipes were exposed, and it was an entire floor of our house that we weren't using.
We needed a space that we can bring our clients into, and we knew that the basement would be a perfect spot that we can store pretty much all of our samples, and then that way we can kind of use this place to ideate plans for our clients and also invite them down here to see what is possible in a Brooklyn basement.
So it's the workroom, because it's a place for us to work and a place for us to bring clients and have all those samples and be creative and inspired. But it's a speakeasy because it's our basement and there's no windows and it's underground.
And we also have a couple surprises in here that are very speakeasy-esque. So let's show you around and show you what we did with our basement.
So when you first come down into the space, we wanted to create a little bit of a dramatic effect to introduce where we are. So we have our vintage door at the top of the stairs. We have chicken wire glass in there. We painted it black, put some vintage hardware on it, and of course put our stencil, the workroom, so everyone knows what they're walking into. But one of our favorite things that we did was put these slats on the stairs that I think are just a really cool way to give you something to hold on to. It's not exactly a handrail as you come down, but they give you these little glimpses of the space as you're walking down, and it's just a really cool effect. So we painted the stairs black. We re-cemented this entire wall so it's nice and smooth and new. It was the foundation wall, so it was kind of like rocky and rubble. As soon as you're down at the bottom of the stairs, you're greeted by this really nice little sitting area.
This is our lounge area. So, I mean, the basement is utilized for us to do laundry, but it's also a place that we wanted to sit and relax. And this little area here is the perfect place if we need to separate from each other. I just love its own little moment here. And we worked closely with Apartment 2B on these chairs. So comfortable. The pillow's from Spoonflower, and I just really love that this whole vibe really brings me back in time. One of my favorite things in the entire space is this light behind me on the wall, and this is from a local company called Lighting NYC. It's a bifocal light, really has this beautiful pop of green in it, and then we put some Edison bulbs in there just to kind of give it that feel of the 1920s in here. But I have a feeling a lot of nights we'll be sitting in this chair, just relaxing, maybe having a glass of whiskey, and of course reading some design magazines, or we have an old newspaper here from, I believe, 1926.
So the thing that we think is the most transformative in the space are the arches that we put in. These were where we had just your average brick columns, like structural columns in the basement, and we had to keep the columns there, but we thought we would make them into a feature and create these 3 arches. You know, it really gives you that sort of like speakeasy basement wine cellar-y type feel. And these sconces from Alora Lighting, they're the perfect size,
they really
and the perfect scale for the space, and they highlight each arch just perfectly.
One of our last minute decisions that was a big battle between Barry and I were the curtains. And I really was all of it about putting a different texture into the space. And I'm so glad we put these red curtains in here. The goal is not for them to kind of close off the arch. I think it's such a beautiful moment that we always want it to be exposed. But it just really separates the kind of landing area into the work area. Moving right along in the middle of the space is kind of what this whole room is about, and that is the workroom. Here we have a beautifully custom-made table self-made by Zach Goldstein. He is a new up-and-coming furniture designer, and I have to say, folks, we put together this furniture. It was easier than putting IKEA furniture together. IKEA for me is the most challenging thing, And
it's so much more beautiful and well made and beautifully constructed.
But how easy was it to
But
install?
so easy to
it
put
was
together.
So easy
we were
to
shocked
install,
at how easy it was.
Everything is kind of formed around these brackets. And the black of the brackets are just really this nice pop of transition between the wood and the metal. I'm just so happy with it. I'm so excited to actually sit down with some new plans, sketch out some designs for clients, and I think it's just a really beautiful space.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful table.
Above the table, you'll see a beautiful work light. This is also from Alora Lighting.
I love these leather straps that hold it to this bar. It's super cool. So it's leather and metal, and it's the perfect length. It just looks like it belongs over a work table.
So another thing, we went back and forth on the floors in the basement. They were in pretty rough condition. We were originally gonna sand them down and polish them, and time really snuck up on us real fast. So we just painted over them. But something that really warmed up the space is the rug underneath the workroom. Loloi Rugs, this is the Chris Loves Julia. This is their collection, and the colors on this just really speak wonderfully to the cabinet color and the white of the arches.
So one thing that really warms up this entire room is this gorgeous wallpaper. It's from Spoonflower, and they have such great designs. They had a whole Brooklyn section, which was great. They had some really cool stuff, but this one really worked for us because of the colors and the richness of it, the ode to Brooklyn, and this black detail around the edges. It worked out really well. I love it. I think it goes great, especially with all the black trim that we have.
And this is just a little pin board that whenever we're working on a project, we're just going to utilize this board up here, just pinning up some of our color samples and different samples that we could bring into the space. Brand new thing we need to mention are 2 new pocket doors in this space. This, again, is stenciled in with House Number Lab. They do custom stencils, and we wanted to call our Studio 2B for Brownstone Boys.
So one of our secret weapons for getting all of the stuff in this entire project really quickly and easily was through eBay. We got this really great vintage cabinet hardware on eBay. We got all of the accessories throughout the entire space, all on eBay. All these vintage chairs came from eBay. So one of the biggest features in the space that's probably also the most useful is all of the cabinetry that is along this entire wall. And this was all done by Ethan from the Build with Ethan. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's all custom cabinetry. We have these glass panels in the top. And one of my favorite features is this little rounded corner detail that he put in that really just goes with the speakeasy vibe so well. But this is where we're gonna keep all of our sample storage, all of our tile samples, everything that we wanna show our clients. And we have so much storage now. It's like, we went from having no storage for this kind of stuff to having like storage to grow into, so it's amazing.
Before we leave this space, there's one thing we cannot skip over, and that is the stunning piece of stained glass behind me. And folks, believe it or not, this was found at one of our renovation projects, and it was in the trash pile. Hands down, it is made for the space. It is so stunning, it's so perfect. What we did is we put some LED strips behind the stained glass, their own little electrical sockets, so we can just turn them on and off, and it gives the illusion that there's some natural light coming into the space. And we incorporated the slats tying into the slab wall, and we just stained these in the walnut color to match the table and also the featured slab wall.
So one of the smartest things in this space is this curved slab wall. In our opinion, the best way to close off the mechanicals, our boiler and our hot water heater are behind it. So usually you create a boiler room and it's just a, of course it's a square room with a 90-degree angle, but this curve just kind of opens up this entire space, kind of draws your eye in a different way. And then we lined it with these wooden slats that were just really simple pine slats.
So one by one.
Yeah, one by one that we nailed here and just stained it a walnut color. So above us throughout the entire space are really amazing tin ceilings from American Tin Ceilings. They are really easy to put in. We love the pattern. We love that there's a little bit of a sheen to it.
Yep.
We are in a basement. It bounces some light around. It just gives it that kind of like old world feel.
So another fun feature we did in this space was adding these 2 windows behind me in between what was once the original columns. It was just a blank space, and it really gave us a good separation between our laundry area and the workroom. And I was like, we need these vintage windows, and of course we found them at the same renovation that we found the stained glass. They're very old school. We put some wiring above them so you can open them and close them.
So we also have a little bar area when we have clients over. Maybe we want to make a cocktail as well.
And we also have a little record table over here. Again, all through eBay. Everything in this entire area we purchased right through eBay. So you might have wondered what that pink light was. I want to introduce you to our laundry room. Come on inside. So folks, you probably think we're a little crazy for painting a laundry room pink, but we're crazy in the best way possible. This laundry room was inspired by RuPaul's Drag Race, the best show on television. And we are so happy with the way it turns out. This was an area that we just literally threw our washer and our dryer in, and now I personally am so excited to come down here and work to do my laundry. We have this beautiful wallpaper, again from Spoonflower, and believe it or not, this wallpaper is called Drag Queen Brick. That's how fantastic it is. This work light is from Custom Neon Light. The great thing about them is you can change the fonts on whatever you want. It also has every color under the rainbow that you can possibly think of. Oh, you might be wondering if the Cisco bot works 100%. We hung up a little mirror over here. When the drag queens leave the show, they write on the mirror a little message to the other queens, and this just has me saying to Barry, "You better fold," with my little kiss mark. We did a purple and white stripe on the floor. Originally we were going to do a checkered floor. Way too much work in our timeline, so we just cut that, and I'm so happy with the purple and white stripes. Last but not least, something I'm so proud of is we had an original hatch door to our basement. It was this pink door. It was the cutest door possible, and I knew I wanted a different place for that. So what we did is we cut it down, and now it is our laundry folding table. So I could just put my clean clothes up here and fold them, and then we have a full laundry room. Thank you all so much for coming on this crazy 8-week challenge with us, known as the One Room Challenge.
It was quite the journey. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. I know we're kind of glad that it's over. Like, we're glad it's done.
We're ready for a little break, but we have so many exciting renovations coming up. So you guys will want to subscribe to our channel so you can check out all of the projects. They are incredible, and
fortunately we have more than 8 weeks to get them done.
But also check out the other 19 featured designers. We're so excited to see what magic they have created. Thank you all so much for your love and support. It really means the world to us, and we're so glad that you came on this journey with us.
Bye everyone.
Bye.